Divine and supernatural signs. Have you ever had that feeling that something invisible was trying to communicate with you? A strong feeling that made you change your path. A dream so vivid that it seemed more real than life itself. Or an unexpected encounter that seemed to have been planned by someone up above. Maybe you haven't told anyone this, afraid of sounding crazy. But what if these mysterious moments are divine and supernatural signs, sent to guide you, protect you, or even warn you about something that is yet to come? In this video, we will delve deeply into the world of invisible signs, real stories of people who were saved by omens, prophetic dreams, impossible coincidences, and spiritual encounters that changed their destinies forever. And at the end, I want you to tell me, do you believe that the heavens try to speak to us? Do you believe that the sky tries to talk to us? When the invisible manifests, divine and supernatural signs do not happen with lights flashing in the sky or voices thundering from above. Most of the time, they appear subtly as if disguised as chance, but carrying a purpose. Imagine the story of Anna, a young woman who used to take the same bus every day. One morning, she woke up with an inexplicable feeling. Don't go that way today. One morning, she woke up with an inexplicable feeling. Don't go that way today. Frightened, she decided to listen to her intuition and take another route. Frightened, she decided to listen to her intuition and take another route. On that same day, the usual bus was involved in a serious accident. Coincidence? Or divine intervention? How many times has something prevented you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Have you ever wondered how many tragedies were avoided without us ever knowing? Signs that come in dreams. Many people report receiving messages through dreams, and they are not ordinary dreams. They are clear visions, full of details that bring warnings or revelations. Carlos, for example, dreamed several times about his deceased grandfather, who told him, "Don't trust that partner. Don't trust that partner." Days later, he discovered that the partner was embezzling money from the company. Days later, he discovered that his partner was embezzling money from the company. When confronted, he confessed everything. How to explain this? Would they have been just creations of the subconscious? Or the spirit of the grandfather trying to protect him? In the Bible, prophetic dreams are common. Interpreted the Pharaoh's dreams and saved Egypt from famine. Father of dreamed of an angel warning him to flee to Egypt and thus save the boy's life. If God spoke through dreams in the past, why couldn't he do the same today? Why couldn't he do the same today? Impossible coincidences. Some signs come as such improbable coincidences that it seems impossible not to see a purpose behind them. A famous example is the case of a woman named Patricia who, upon entering a bookstore, saw a book fall off the shelf right in front of her. The title? Go Back Home. She cried right there. She had been estranged from her family for years, and that day was the beginning of reconciliation. How many times has a coincidence brought you exactly what you needed? A verse that appears at the right moment. A song with the exact lyrics that respond to your pain. A person who appears out of nowhere and says something that changes everything. Is it really just chance? Or was the universe or God trying to reach you? Encounters with beings of light. There are also the accounts of people who claim to have encountered angels not with wings and harps, but as ordinary people who mysteriously disappear after helping. Joao recounts that he was driving at night, alone, when the car broke down in the middle of a deserted road. With no cell signal, he prayed, "God, don't abandon me here." Minutes later, a man appeared out of nowhere, helped fix the car, and when Joao turned to thank him, he had disappeared. There weren't even footprints on the wet asphalt. There are many stories like this. People saved from accidents, guided by strangers who appear and disappear. Could they be angels? Or just inexplicable coincidences? What if angels are among us, disguised? Signs that save lives. In many cases, the signs are not just symbolic, they save lives in a concrete way. A young woman named Renata was ready to take off on a plane. Suddenly, she felt an absurd restlessness in her chest and decided to leave the boarding line. She cried, without knowing why. Hours later, I learned that that plane had suffered a serious accident. She says, "I didn't hear a voice, but something stronger than me pulled me back. I didn't hear a voice, but something stronger than me pulled me back." Have you ever had that feeling? As if an invisible force were holding you back? Do we ignore more signs than we realize? Signs in the Bible, the scriptures, are full of examples of supernatural signs. Saw a bush that was burning without being consumed, and from there God spoke to him. Asked God for signs using a piece of wool and received clear answers. Had a vision of a man asking for help and this changed the course of his mission. The Bible makes it clear. God speaks through signs, dreams, visions, people, and even through creation itself. God speaks through signs, dreams, visions, people, and even creation itself. The problem is that, often, we are too busy to listen. Could it be that the signs are still happening today, but we no longer have eyes to see them? When we ignore the signs. And what happens when we ignore them? Many stories show that the signs tend to repeat, each time stronger, until we pay attention. Marco spent months feeling that he should move to another city, but he ignored the premonition. Then, everything started to go wrong. He lost his job, ended his relationship, got sick. When he finally decided to change, things started to flow like never before. He says, "Today I understand that God was trying to take me out of where I shouldn't have been anymore. Today I understand that God was trying to take me out of where I shouldn't have been anymore." Have you ever felt pushed out of a situation, even while fighting to stay? What if this is God's love disguised as a crisis? How to discern if a sign is real? Many people wonder how to know if a sign is really from God or just something in their head. How to know if a sign is really from God or just something in your head. Here are some simple criteria. 1. Coherence with spiritual principles. God does not contradict himself. Coherence with spiritual principles. God does not contradict himself. If a sign leads you to good, truth, and love, it probably comes from him. 2. Inner peace. True signs bring peace, even when they require difficult decisions. 3. Repeated confirmation. The same sign appears through different paths, a word, a dream, someone saying the same thing. 4. Real transformation. After the signal, something in you truly changes. And you? Have you ever received signs that changed your life? Tell us in the comments. Your story can help someone who is in doubt right now. Stories of those who believed in the signs. Claudia lost her father and was immersed in grief. One night, she asked for a sign that he was okay. The next day, he found an old letter from his father on the street, written years before, with a phrase, "I am proud of you, never give up. I am proud of you, never give up." She says that healed her. Pedro was about to give up on everything when a stranger stopped and said, "I don't know why I'm saying this, but God sent me to remind you that you are important." "I don't know why I'm saying this, but God sent me to remind you that you are important." Peter cried for hours. Pedro cried for hours. These stories remind us that signs do not come to satisfy curiosity. They come to restore us. The danger of ignoring the signs. Ignoring signs can have consequences. Not because God punishes, but because the signs are warnings to protect us from ourselves. The signs are warnings to protect us from ourselves. How many marriages collapse because the warning signs were ignored? How many wrong choices could have been avoided if we had listened to that gentle voice within us? God doesn't shout. He whispers. And the overly noisy world makes it so we can't hear. How to become sensitive to the signs. If you want to perceive divine and supernatural signs more, here are some practical steps. Silence the mind for a few minutes every day. Pray for clarity. Write down your dreams and significant coincidences. Observe repeated patterns in your life. Give thanks even without understanding. Whoever is grateful for the small things receives greater revelations. Conclusion. The sky still speaks. The signs are every place. In the right word that arrives at the exact moment. In the music that seems made for you. In the strength that appears when you think it's over. In the unexpected hug. In the deliverance you didn't even realize you received. You can call it coincidence, or you can choose to believe that the sky still speaks. And if it is speaking, maybe today is the day to start listening. Now I ask you, have you ever received a divine sign? What was the strongest one you've ever experienced? Right here in the comments. Because maybe your testimony is exactly the sign someone is asking for today.